Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we deleted all that our unnecessary file and now I make it as a very clean, right? So now first of all, I want to work with the user. So if you go to our database, into the database, there is also one of the table as a users table, right? First of all, I want to complete all that our users and user profile related everything. Then step by step, we will move on. Okay, so first work is that I want to add one of the menu. So in particular that area I want to add one of the menus, so that is in our sidebar, right? So now just first of all go to our sidebar. So our sidebar is in our view, into the admin, there is a body and then our sidebar, right? So into the sidebar area, first of all there is our dashboard, and after that dashboard there is an application. So now I want to do better, I want to rename it. I may make it as a manage user. Okay, I name it as a manage user, and with the manage user I want to create two of this field. One will be as a view user, another will be as a add user. Okay, so this type of two of this menu I simply add. Now click as a save all, and now if you go there, click as a refresh, and you can see that is actually showing as a manage user. Into the manage user there is a view user and the add user. Perfect. So now first of all I want to do, when you click as a view user, then one of the content page, that means this portion only I want to change it, and here I want to load one of the page. Okay, so for doing this we have to create one of the controller. So now let's do that work. So here I want to create one of the route. So into the route area we have to pass it, right? So in fundamental I have already discussed about all that basic functionality. So better I want to create one of the controllers. So if you want to create one of the controller, and I also want to make it as a segment wise, because of all that will be one of the large advanced projects. So here I want to actually organize it as possible. Okay, so into the controllers folder I want to create one of the new folder. Our backend related every controller I want to save into this backend. Okay, so that will be as a backend. So I have created one of the folder as a backend folder. So into the backend folder I want to create one of the controller for the user. So that is actually our main path, that means our project directory, and that is our school, right? That means our project folder. So in particular that area I want to create as a PHP artisan, and then make controller, and into the backend folder I want to create one of the controller as a user controller. Okay, so this type of one of the controller I want to create into the backend folder. So now if you click as a enter, and now here you can see friend, it's now showing as a controller created successfully. That means right now we successfully created our controller. So our controller is now successfully created. Okay, so your controller is now successfully created. Now if you go to your backend, into the backend, that is our user controller, right? So our first work is that we have to use it, right? We have to use this one. So that is in our app, HTTP controllers, and then backend. Better I copy that namespace and now go to our web route. And to the web route area, here we have to add it. That means we have to use it fast. So because of all right now you're using Laravel 8, and Laravel 8 that is actually the update for updating this route, right? So first of all you have to add that controller. So that is in our app, HTTP controllers, backend. In the backend area I have created another controller as a user controller. So now that will be our user controller. So right now we can actually use this our user controller. So first of all I want to create one of the routes. Better I want to put one of the node for you as a user management all route. Okay, all routes will be here. So if you want to create it, I think you already know that will be one of the get methods. So I simply name that as a get method, and I just name one of the route. Okay, so in our sidebar, into the sidebar there is our view user, right? So now I want to create one of the route. So here I name one of the route. If you want to create it, then what exactly you have to do, you have to make it as a route, and route I just put that name as a view user. Okay, or user view, user.view. So this type of one of the route I want to create. So now if you want to create it, that is our web route. So that will be as a get method obviously, and then I name it. Better I copy it. So that will be our route name as a this one. Okay, that means the user view, and also I want to name it as a user and then the view, or you can also make it as a view. So laterally I will also show you how can actually create the group wise route. Then actually it should be better than every time you don't need to use this type of one of the things. So I will show you that things later. Right now I just simply updated that our URL, and that is our name, and I want to create one of the method in our which controller. I have already loaded this our user controller. So into the user controller I want to create one of the method as a user view. Okay, I name it as a user view. So this type of one of the method I want to create. So if you want to create it, we have to go to our user controller. Now go to our user controller, and here I want to create one of the method. I just name it as a public, and then function, and then our method, right? So that will be our method. So into the method area, first of all, if you want to check it, you can check it with the DD. Okay, so with this DD actually is showing the echo. So I name it as a view user. So this type of one of the echo, it should be visible. Okay, I want to first of all check it, everything is working or not. Right now click as a save all, and now here if you go and click as a refresh. So right now I have already put one of the link, create one of the route for our view user. So if you now click as a view user, yes, you can see it's now perfectly display our this echo as a user. That means a view user. That means this page every functionality actually work, right? So into the sidebar here, if you click as this route, it will be redirect to our this URL, and that is actually our name, and that is our URL, and that is actually our method. So here I have created this method, and you can see I did it as a view user. So now it's showing as a view user, and that is our URL is also updated as a user view, right? So friend, in fundamental I have already discussed about this format, right? So here that is actually our route. So after that, if you want to create another route, then you have to create it another one, and you can also do another things, because every time user related, all that our URL will be just like that same, right? So for the reasons here I want to create one of the group route. So how can create this group route better? Here I want to discuss about that things with you. So for doing this, first of all you have to add one of the route. So our route, and into the route area, first of all you have to declare your prefix. That means which type of URL it should be. Okay, so I make it as a prefix. So I simply add the prefix, and our prefix will be, I just created everything with the user related, right? That means first of all I want to use that as a user. I can use that user or users, but I use that users, and into the users area I added one of the group. That means I want to group it, and here into the group area, first of all you have to add that your function. Okay, first of all you have to add your function, and into the function, after that here we have to add all that our routes. Okay, so in particular that area you can actually add your all route. So right now I want to take it, I simply cut it from here. Now I simply paste it. Okay, so now it should be very much clear to you what exactly the things I did on here. So right now you can see I am using as users. Okay, and to the users, and that is our user and the view. So right now if you want to run it, okay, if you want to run it automatically, that will be added with the user and then the view. Okay, so I show you, like if you now click as a save all, and now click as a go back. So now I refresh it. Okay, I refresh it, and now if you go to that manage user, and with the manage user, if you now go to our this view user, yes, you can see friend, now that is actually our URL. Our URL first of all is showing as users, and then the user, and then the view. Okay, so here I want to do every time our this prefix will be the same, only our view, add, store, update, everything will be updated in particular that area. Okay, so I want to do and to make it as a group. That is the reason I'm actually creating it as a group function. So right now here we don't need to use it, so you can actually manage your URL very easily. So right now I just simply remove it. That means it should be as users and then the view, right? So now if you click as a save all, and now if you go there, click as a refresh. Now I refresh it, and now if you go to that manage user, go to the view user, you can see the user is the common, because that is actually our prefix for this group, and only that is our view. Here I just simply updated our route will be as a view. Okay, friend. So if you actually created one of the most interactive, one of the large project, then actually better to use this group. So this group wise, everything I want to create, or every route I want to create in particular that area. Okay, I want to create one of the route for the add and edit, store, update, delete, everything user related, all that route I want to put it into our this function. That means in our this group route area. Okay, I hope it's very much clear to you, friends. So that is our comment. So that is actually our user management all route. So our user management all route will be here. Okay, so now I want to create that means I want to load one of the page, right? So into the user view, that is a method. Into the method area, here you can see I check it with the DD. So right now it's okay. So now in particular that area I want to load one of the page. That means if you go back, that means here I want to load one of the page, right? So if you want to do that work, first of all you have to do in fundamental, I have already discussed about that things with you. So right now if you use that eloquent ORM, you can use it. If you want to use that as a query builder, you can also use it. Okay, so right now I want to use it as a eloquent ORM. So into the eloquent ORM, that means our model will be needed, right? So that is our user related everything. So that the models here you can see that is by default one of the model is created as a user. So here when you install that Laravel actually provided by default this user model, right? So right now first of all we have to use it. That means I want to use, and that is in our app, and then the models folder, make that sure spelling is correct, and the models folder, that is our user. Okay, that means that is actually our user model. Perfect. So now first of all make that sure use add it. So that is our app folder, that is a models folder, and then our user. And also in fundamental, I have shared one things with you. Right now I want to actually share another way, then it will be better. In fundamental, what exactly I did? In fundamental, I did as a all, I take one of the variable as a like that way, as a all data, and then with the user model, I want to do and I get that all data, right? So with this, we get all the data from our user table. And then we simply pass one of the return page, that means the return. Okay, return one of the view page. I simply add on the view page. That means I want to create one of the view file. That is our admin, and there is a view. Okay, so better into the view area I want to do all that backend related everything I want to save in here. So into the view area I want to create one of the folder, and I just name it as a backend. Okay, backend, and then I just simply create it, and into the backend area I want to create another folder as a user. That means user related everything I want to save here. So into the user folder I want to create one of the page, whatever you want. So right now I want to click as a save as, and I just name it as a view underscore user. Okay, view user dot blade dot php. Perfect. So now I have created one of the view user. So this page I want to load. So here I just simply load it as a view. That means into the backend folder, that is our user folder. Into the user folder area I have created one of the file. I have created file name as a view underscore user, right? So that will be our file. So before we did that type of work, I get all the data, take the things with this variable, and now after that here I simply compact it, right? Here I simply compact, and into the compact area I pass this data. So if you get that multiple variable, in, and here if you want to pass it into the view page, then after that you have to add another one, right? You have to add another variable in particular that area. So that is actually the another way you can manage it. So like I show you, so this functionality I have already discussed about that things with you. So right now there is another way I want to share with you, but I want to put it as a comment out. So there is actually another way. I just take one of the variable. as a data, and into the data area I pass like one of the variable as a all. That means this one. Okay, all data. So this type of one of the variable I want to do, and then I want to use our user model, the same as a user. With this user model I want to get all the data. Okay. So right now I just get all the data, that I take the things into this variable, and here I take it into this data array. Okay, that means that is actually one of the data array. So I take everything into the array position and I just take the things that is actually our data array. So right now only I have to pass the data. So right now if you create multiple one, only you have to pass this data, not all that variable. Okay, like I show you, I just simply here, after this I just simply pass out this data. Okay, so now if you create another new one, and here if you create the another one, and if you get that any data from our any other table, okay, like as a CRM table. So if you actually get this CRM data and take the things with this variable, right now here we don't need to pass it, only we have to pass our this data. Okay, so here I just simply pass it. I hope friend it is very much clear to you what exactly the things I did in particular that area. Okay, so right now I'm actually using this format. So here also you can actually pass it like that way. So now I get all that our user data from our user table. That means from our user table right now they have the one data. So right now I get this data and take the things with this variable as all data. So that is our array, and here I pass this data. That means right now we can actually access everything in our this page, right? That means in our this view user page. So now we have to update it. That means here we have to actually work for it. So how can design it better? I want to continue this process in our next video. I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.